I'll be talking about cataract surgery first, to treat DME first with anti-VEGF and then cataract surgery. If you look into the associated disease with diabetes mellitus, cataract amounts to 53% and diabetic retinopathy is 37%. So these are the two main diseases associated with diabetic retinopathy. Why cataract with diabetic retinopathy is a problematic situation? Because cataract surgery accelerates diabetic retinopathy, there is an exacerbation of diabetic maculopathy, there is an increased incidence of cystoid macular edema and anterior ischemic optic neuropathy. If you look at the data, if 74% rate of progression of non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy in operated eye compared with 37% rate of progression in non-operated fellow eye. Various studies has confirmed this finding that there is an increase in the rate of diabetic retinopathy after cataract surgery. Now we look at this example, same patient, one eye operated, one eye is not operated. This eye you can see, we did a fluorescein angiography, you can see one single NV. 2 months post-operative cataract surgery, you can see a pre-retinal hemorrhage and multiple neovascularization post-cataract surgery, signifying that yes, there is an increase in diabetic retinopathy. Another patient here you can see operated 2 months back, and you can see there is a diffuse diabetic macular edema, and OCT will show you a huge amount of edema. Another patient operated 1.5 months back, you can see a diffuse diabetic macular edema. This patient had cataract, you can see the shadow here. This is because of the cataract. I said get your diabetic retinopathy treated. He didn't get his diabetic retinopathy treated, and he came after surgery, after 1.5 months or 6 weeks after surgery. And you can see on OCT what is the kind of edema he is having. And actually his vision dropped from the baseline vision. And he said कि cataract surgery से कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ. So DME and cataract surgery, you have to understand diabetic macular edema is not an emergency in comparison with proliferative diabetic retinopathy. Patient usually complains of, patient usually has a posterior subcapsular cataract or nucleus sclerosis, where many a times you can assess the fundus, and you can also do an OCT. Like in this patient, you can see the images are poor, but you can see there is an edema here. So the ideal way to manage this, if you can assess the fundus, the ideal way to manage diabetic macular edema is to control diabetes and then give anti-VEGF to treat diabetic macular edema. If you have a non-central involving macular edema, first do a focal laser. Like I did a focal laser in this patient. You can see a resolution of edema, and after 6 weeks of laser, I went ahead and did a cataract surgery for this patient. This is if you have a central involving macular edema, anti-VEGF monthly injections of ranibizumab, or you can give aflibercept, whatever the choice of anti-VEGF. Once the macula dries up, you can go ahead and do a cataract surgery. I don't have any apprehensions about DEX implant. You can also give a DEX implant, but first control diabetic macular edema and then go ahead and do a cataract surgery. DME post-cataract surgery, there are two types of diabetic macular edema which you can face after cataract surgery. First is pseudophakic cystoid macular edema, and second is increase in diabetic macular edema. By giving DEX implant, you are addressing this cystoid macular edema, preventing this cystoid macular edema, but you are not addressing at the progression of diabetic macular edema. With simultaneous cataract surgery and DEX implant, prevention of CME is likely, but not prevention of diabetic macular edema. The disadvantage of cataract and DEX implant is there will be a DME progression can be arrested, but not arrested. We are not addressing at the improvement of diabetic macular edema, meaning you don't know whether if the DME increases post-cataract surgery, you don't know whether this patient is a non-responder or whether your drug has worked or not, or the edema has increased because of the cataract surgery. Other side effects are there is increased risk of intraocular pressure, there is an increased risk of infection, and DEX implant is not cheap and it will add on to your total cost of surgery. And third thing is anterior segment surgeons are hesitant to give index implant because the bore, or you have to make a tunnel and then go inside rather than in simple anti-VEGF. If you look at the studies available, UK prospective trial, this is NICE recommends dexamethasone intravitreal implant as an option for treating diabetic macular edema only in pseudophakic patients that my opponent is doing. The diabetic macular edema does not, it is always used as a second line of treatment, not as a first line of treatment. The efficacy of steroid is less favorable than that of anti-VEGF and comparable to that of laser. A 12-month Cullinan 2017 trial, if you see this anti-VEGF, there is an increase in letter of 8 ETDRS word, but with DEX implant, the improvement is only 3 to 4 word, which is similar to laser. If you see the DRCR protocol, NET-B, protocol B2 trial, you can see the intravitreal triamcinolone, which is also a steroid, similarly works as a DEX implant, works over a period of 3 years. Visual outcomes were similar between triamcinolone and laser group. Vision gains with steroids are not maintained in long term, and this we see in protocol I. If you see here, this is the graph of DEX implant and this is the laser. If you see the result of 104 weeks, the result of laser and DEX implant is same, but with anti-VEGF, the results with deferred laser is pretty good. Another problem with DEX implant is the peak vision gain occurs approximately 2 months after each dexamethasone implant. Posology of dexamethasone recommends dosing approximately every 6 months. But what we experience is the maximum effect comes at 2 months and then it declines and comes back to the baseline. And many times what we see, there is a rebound edema is more than the baseline edema. So they have tried to decrease the duration to 4 months and 5 months. What are the side effects of DEX implant? Elevation of IOP of more than 10 millimeters occurs in approximately 30% of the patient of DEX implant, and IOP lowering medication is required in approximately 40% of the patient of DEX implant. If you see this graph here, more than 25 millimeter of elevation occurred in 10% of the patient with DEX implant. So diabetic patients are prone for open angle glaucoma. Giving steroids can land up your patient into an glaucomatous patient. A systemic review and meta-analysis of clinical outcome of intravitreal anti-VEGF agent treatment immediately after cataract surgery for patient of diabetic retinopathy. This is not for diabetic macular edema. 9 RCTs and 3 randomized comparative studies, and if you look at the result, the mean BCVA was statistically significantly better in anti-VEGF treatment group than that in cataract alone group. The mean macular thickness was statistically significant less in anti-VEGF treatment group. Anti-VEGF injection prior to cataract surgery in eyes with diabetic retinopathy, the new onset post-operative macular edema was 26% at month 3 and 33% at 6 months. The foveal thickness remained relatively stable with pre-op anti-VEGF, and anti-VEGF experienced a lasting increase in decrease in foveal thickness. If you look at the EURETINA guidelines, corticosteroid should be reserved as a second line of treatment. So to conclude, as a principle, treat diabetic macular edema first, stabilize diabetic macular edema first with anti-VEGF or laser, combine cataract surgery with anti-VEGF so that DME does not rebounds back. Steroids are used as second line of treatment. Thank you very much.